Do you remember the excitement of sliding a brand new VHS tape into the VCR, feeling the gentle click and hum as the tape began to spin? The faint aroma of warm plastic and popcorn drifted through the living room, and the soft whir of the rewind button became the anthem of countless Friday nights. In the 1980s, VHS was more than a technological leap. It was pure magic that let you bring the movie theater home, turning ordinary evenings into blockbuster events with just the press of a chunky remote. For the first time, families and friends gathered around the flickering glow of their TVs, marveling at the freedom to pause, rewind, and watch their favorite films and shows whenever they pleased. Do you recall the thrill of scanning the shelves at the local video store, searching for just the right box with its colorful cover and that unforgettable "Be Kind, Rewind" sticker? VHS tapes didn't just change how we watched movies, they transformed how we created and shared memories with the people we loved most. Ready to rewind and see how these little rectangles transformed our living rooms and our lives forever? Let's set the stage. It's the late 1970s and early 1980s. America is buzzing with excitement about the rapid march of technology. In households across the country, color TVs have finally replaced most black and white sets, and remote controls, still sometimes tethered by a cord, are considered the height of luxury. Yet, even in this era of innovation, entertainment was stuck in a rigid, unforgiving schedule set by the TV networks. Miss your favorite show or movie? That was that. Maybe you'd catch it again in a summer rerun, if you were lucky. But as the 1980s dawned and the world seemed poised on the brink of another leap, a quiet revolution was brewing in the form of a little black rectangle, the VHS tape. It's hard to overstate just how remarkable the arrival of VHS felt. Before its launch, families crowded around the TV according to the network's timetable, and the commercial promise of home movies meant something very different: crank-operated projectors showing silent, jittery home-shot reels. Super 8 film was fun, but it was no replacement for the spectacle of Hollywood. That all started to change in 1976 when Japan's JVC released the first VHS, Video Home System Recorder. This was no minor gadget. It held the power to record hours of television and play pre-recorded movies at the push of a button. Looking back, it's surprising to realize that VHS wasn't an immediate household name. In fact, it was born during a fierce format war. VHS had a major rival, Sony's Betamax. Introduced just a year earlier, Betamax boasted slightly higher picture quality and a compact design. But here's a twist. The difference that won VHS the battle was not what most people expected. VHS tapes could record up to 2, and later 4 hours per cassette, while Betamax was initially limited to just 1 hour. For movie lovers and parents hoping to save an entire evening's show lineup, VHS's recording time was a game changer. Did your family ever debate which brand to buy, or maybe regret being the lone Betamax household on the block? As 1980 rolled in, the price of VCRs remained eye-wateringly high, some topping $1,000, almost $3,500 today, when adjusted for inflation. Yet Americans showed a willingness to save and splurge, recognizing this as the ticket to a new form of entertainment freedom. Early adopters recall picking up their hefty VCR sets from retailers like Sears or Radio Shack, marveling at the maze of buttons and levers. For some, their first video recorder seemed almost intimidating, a piece of NASA-level machinery tucked beneath the TV. Families would gather with the instruction manual, maneuvering through mysterious settings like tracking and timer record. Remember the frustration when the VCR's clock blinked 12 for months because no one could figure out how to set it? But soon the magic became second nature. VHS transformed the living room from a place where people passively consumed whatever was on, into a hub of choice and anticipation. Suddenly, you could decide when movie night happened, not the networks. Parents learned to record Saturday morning cartoons for their kids. Sports fans taped the big game to watch after work. Couples saved their favorite soap operas from being missed. It's easy to forget how empowering that felt, having a library of beloved shows right at your fingertips. You might not believe this, but the rapid adoption of VHS took even some experts by surprise. By 1985, a staggering 30% of American homes had a VCR, up from just 1% in 1980. That number would skyrocket to 70% by the end of the decade, making the VCR one of the fastest spreading pieces of consumer technology in history, rivaled only later by the DVD player and personal computer. Families who thought they'd use their VCR only occasionally quickly found themselves building entire collections of tapes, both recorded from TV and purchased. Those iconic blank cassette boxes, grey, black, sometimes sporting that rainbow stripe, began to line up on shelves in dens and rec rooms. What was the first show or movie you ever recorded off TV? Do you still remember the thrill of labeling the tape by hand, hoping your sibling wouldn't tape over it with Wheel of Fortune or a local news broadcast? Curiously, VHS also opened a new world for amateur creators. For the first time, affordable camcorders recording directly onto VHS cassettes gave families a simple, accessible way to capture birthdays, weddings, or backyard celebrations, in color, with sound, and, mostly, in focus. Suddenly, family history could be preserved and replayed, not lost to fading memories or dusty photo albums. The tradition of the annual holiday home movie found new life, with children mugging for the camera and parents narrating milestone moments. Have you ever revisited old VHS home movies only to laugh at the hairstyles, fashions, and familiar furniture of a bygone era? There's another fun twist to this story, one you might have forgotten. In the earliest days of VHS, Hollywood studios wanted nothing to do with home video. In fact, many studios saw home recording as a threat to their box office returns and television ratings. Some even sued, trying to keep VCRs out of consumers' hands. In 1984, the US Supreme Court finally put their fears to rest in the landmark Betamax case, ruling that home recording for personal use was perfectly legal. This decision threw the doors wide open and marked the true beginning of the home theater era. Imagine if that ruling had gone the other way. How differently might our living rooms have looked throughout the 80s and 90s? By the mid-1980s, not only were retailers racing to stock the newest VCRs, but a new kind of business boomed alongside them, video rental stores. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's a story all its own. For now, it's enough to remember how, in just a few years, the VHS tape became more than an object. It became a symbol. Symbol of choice, of togetherness, of an era where technology finally let us take control of our entertainment. The once mysterious blinking box under the TV became the heart of evening plans, sleepovers, and lazy Sundays. Looking back, can you imagine a time before movie night meant whatever movie you wanted right at home? But the story of VHS doesn't stop with its arrival in the living room. What happened next would forever change our relationship with Hollywood, the rise of video stores, and even the shape of our pop culture memories. So, how did these plastic cassettes go from curious new gadget to household staple, shelf filler, and icon of an entire decade? The answers might surprise you. Let's rewind once more and dive into the next phase, the technological leaps and clever features that made VHS an inseparable part of everyday life. As we reach the end of our journey through the VHS era, it's impossible not to feel a wave of fond memories wash over us. Looking back, it's clear that VHS was more than just a format. It was the beating heart of the American living room throughout the 1980s and beyond. We recalled how those little black boxes brought a genuine sense of excitement into our homes, transforming the way families, friends, and neighbors experienced entertainment. From the early days when VCRs were rare and expensive luxuries, we saw how quickly they became household staples. We explored the magic of recording a favorite show, the ingenuity of making your own home movies, and the laughter that followed a Be Kind, Rewind sticker overlooked. The rise of video rental stores with their endless shelves and neon open signs forged new rituals and traditions, making every Friday night a chance for discovery and delight. We remembered how VHS brought blockbuster movies right to our coffee tables, breaking Hollywood out of the theater and into our personal lives. The act of watching a movie became something personal, tailored, and uniquely ours. Sleepovers, date nights, family gatherings all took on a sense of occasion because of those crackling cassettes. Even the slight fuzziness of a worn tape or the anticipation as the tracking adjusted added to the charm, each imperfection serving as a reminder of countless viewings and shared laughter. The gentle whir of tapes rewinding is forever etched in our minds as a soundtrack to an era where connection, not content alone, was what mattered most. But maybe the most enduring legacy of VHS is the way it brought people together. It was never about technology for technology's sake. The real magic was in the moments. Children nestled on the carpet for cartoon marathons, parents watching their wedding day replayed on fuzzy home video, friends huddled close for a late-night horror flick. VHS invited us all to slow down, to savor the experience, to cherish not just the movies, but the time spent in each other's company. Today's streaming may be sleek and convenient, but there's something deeply comforting about the ritual of choosing a tape, fussing over the player, and pressing play. A reminder that even everyday entertainment could be a special event. Which VHS memories stand out for you? Was it a birthday party captured in shaky, joyful footage? The excitement of renting a long-awaited new release with family? Or maybe the simple joy of watching a well-loved favorite for the 100th time, lines memorized and hearts full? Share your stories in the comments below. These moments are more than nostalgia. They're the threads that connect us across generations. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more stories that celebrate the iconic moments and inventions that shaped our lives. And if you know a fellow VHS lover, share this with them. Let's keep these memories alive and growing. There are more journeys ahead as we explore the touchstones of our collective past. After all, just as we once gathered around the glow of the television, tape boxes stacked high and popcorn in hand, we can still gather here, sharing our memories and reconnecting with the past. So here's to the magic of VHS, an era when every movie night was an adventure, every home movie a treasure, and every rewind a chance to relive the moments that truly mattered.